It's a delight to be here in Paris tonight, speaking for the CFA Society. How exciting. And in terms of my research, I have to go back to the beginning when I started doing the rich thinking research 5 years ago, and when all the negative messages were out there about women and money, that women were underconfident, they didn't take risk, etc., etc. And now today, 5 years later, the most striking findings of my research this year, where I've interviewed smart men and smart women around the world about the future of women in finance, we've found, interestingly, that the most important target market this year for brands and companies is the financially confident woman. So who knew that just 5 years the momentum would change to this extent? That, to me, is certainly striking. From the underconfident woman about money to now everybody trying to market to the new target market, the financially confident woman. And the reason for this, I believe, in every single interview I did, is because of technology, of course. The speed of the rise of all the apps, platforms, and in particular social media, because women love to share. Women are promoting their positive stories and sharing, and now women are being heard, and we're way more confident than ever.
So WINS is our women's network at McGraw-Hill Financial. McGraw-Hill Financial is a very large group which comprises of Standard & Poor's, S&P Capital IQ, S&P Dow Jones Indices, and Platts. This women's network is very beneficial both at company level and on a personal level. At company level, I would say that it really fosters global cooperation. There are events that provide a networking opportunity around the world, and it also fosters a very good, strong mentoring culture in the group. The mentoring program was actually adopted at the group level. So it's extremely rewarding at the company level, and also on a very personal basis. What it brings to people who get involved or attend our events is extremely rewarding as well. I think on a personal level it can be a networking opportunity, again, to meet with people that you wouldn't normally connect with from different business units. And for example, it can also allow you to be mentored by others, or to mentor others and help in their professional development. So I can really say that it's extremely rewarding both for the company and for ourselves.
I don't think I had to face any particular challenges that a male president of the CFA France wouldn't have had to face, except that I probably would have had, I probably did more work than a male president would have done. I took too much responsibility on rather than delegating it. I don't know if this is me or if it's just for being a woman president or being the first woman president, that I didn't have a role model to model myself on. But I think that was the only really big problem. Also, not necessarily knowing the code, as one says in France, about who does what, how. But it was a challenging assignment for the 3 years that I was president, and I don't regret it at all. I'd gladly do it again. I'm sure I would have done other things differently.
Well, I think it's not a secret for anyone that the financial industry is very much still shaped by men, and actually in 21 years of career, all of my managers have been men. It's not really different to be a woman in an American company. What's really different is that American companies tend to be ahead of certain trends that you then start seeing in other countries. So for example, we started talking about inclusion and diversity probably about 15 years ago, and flexible work arrangements were around over 10 years ago. There's a lot of talk about unconscious bias right now. We had our first training on unconscious bias 8 years ago. So that's really interesting to be part of that, of those trends, and to really help the women get off the sticky floor and through the glass ceiling. So my advice really is to be confident in your abilities and to dare escaping from the day-to-day routine. Go out and network. You cannot network too much, but do it with purpose. It's not about how many people you know, it's about who knows you. That will give you great exposure, great visibility. And then also go out and seek mentors, and then be a mentor yourself. Pay it forward, be a role model for the next generation. That's the only way we're going to change anything in this industry.
100 Women in Hedge Funds is an organization founded 15 years ago by 100 women in hedge funds in New York. We are now nearly 13,000 members worldwide, with about 25 or maybe 30 groups, predominantly in the US, but also in Europe and Asia. We do three things. We provide a forum for networking, support, input, mentoring. We put on education events in the English sense of the term, which in some areas is to talk about the sort of the issues and the technical issues of our industry, and in other centres is much more about where the industry is going and what interests our members. And finally, we have a pillar which is the philanthropy pillar, which, because at the beginning we felt we were women who perhaps had a bit more to give, we wanted to give something back, and that is philanthropy. We support locally charities involved in either women and health, mentoring or education, chosen by the local groups for a year period. And we are very proud of the fact we've raised over $35 million in the last 15 years for a number of local charities. Specifically in France, we are nearly 300 members. We would like a lot more. Though I think our penetration rate is pretty good given the number of women working in alternative investments in Paris. We put on 10 to 12 events a year, a mix of what I've just said. We are very happy to support charities locally if we can. More globally, two of the initiatives this year that we're talking about, it's our 15th year. We're involved in it's the year when we support educational events, and on that basis, it is excellence in education that we as an organization globally are supporting, and our foundation is investing in that. As far as supporting women, particularly in their careers and their personal development is concerned, we have a number of initiatives aimed at the different groups of women, whether they be senior or junior, supporting them wherever they need their help in their career. Thank you.